Welcome once again to Really American. I am Michael Hain. Ever since Coach Walz entered the 2024 race as Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate, MAGA conservatives have painfully attempted to find something, anything at all, to discredit his American dad, Midwestern public persona, which is completely legit. And you couldn't even manufacture any of this. This guy is the real deal. I mean, I think the closest they found to him was he once said, God bless you, when he didn't have clerical authority to say so after somebody sneezed. But seriously, in their desperate, pathetic attempts, in a gotcha moment gone completely wrong, a user on Twitter tried to make the claim that Governor Walz was lying about owning his dog Scout, as you can see here. The user on X said, yes, this is Tim Walz tweeting about his dog Scout. Only problem is that these are two completely different dogs. That's it. That's it. This is the scandal of the millennium. You got him. But just wait. And despite the fact that maggot Republicans and Trump cucks like Charlie Kirk and others have since deleted this tweet since it was disproven, Kimberly Guilfoyle Gargoyle, whatever the hell her name is, Trump's horribly god-awful, Trump Jr.'s god-awful fiance says, wait, so Walz is even lying about his dog? Rough stuff. I wonder how long it took her to come up with that bad pun. You think it was like days and days of intense studying? And since Kim Guilfoyle Gargoyle or whatever is actually now engaged to Don Jr., I don't know, I guess his inflatable doll blew up or something like that, I thought it would be interesting to hear from Don Coke Jr. Y'all know Don Coke Jr., right? Let's hear from him.
Okay, so my girlfriend Kim totally embarrassed herself, which is not unusual because I mean she's dating me, so she's totally used to public humiliation. In defense of my girlfriend Kim, she wouldn't know, really what a dog is because dogs like to be in the company of humans, and she likes to be in the company of me. By the way, Kim, I think it's time for you to take me on another walk. And people ask all the time, how come Kim looks like a big mouth Billy Bass, and why does she have, those big lips? Because, it's not like she needs them for,
Again, I have no connection at all to Don Coke Jr. and no control over what he says and does. All right, and here you go, proving even more bullshit in that stanky bullshit mountain of MAGA. User points out on X, not like you need more reasons to want him as our VP, but Tim Walz loves dogs. I got to stab him and his dog Scout a few times during the 2022 election cycle. And this man legit loves dogs, as we can see plainly. Like, if there's a dog around, he's going to stop to pet it. Yes, most humans love dogs, and dogs can sense decency and not vile evil that is MAGA, and therefore maggots want nothing to do with dogs, and dogs want nothing to do with them. But let's expand on this even further, shall we?
Oh, are you jealous? Are you jealous now, mister?
Oh my god, maggots are so unfixably ignorant and just get dumber and dumber by the minute. As this user on X pointed out, Wu-Tang for the Children, great name, by the way. Maggots are so dumb. The dog on the right is just a random dog at the dog park that Tim Walz's dog, Scout, was playing with. You morons could have done your own research. I'll do my own research. I don't need the corporate mainstream media. I'll listen to Uncle Cletus on YouTube. If they had done their own research, as he points out, and went to Tim Walz's own fucking Instagram page, you would have found this video in 10 seconds. This disingenuous attack on part of Gargoyle and MAGA is part of the right's effort to discredit Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. They often make these exaggerated and false claims about what he's done. So far, the attacks against him have done little, if anything, but one of their pathetic attempts, their first attack, was how Tim Walz signed into law mandating that schools provide free menstrual products in both bathrooms, and these hopelessly insecure, triggered rubes were saying, oh, he's tampon Tim, he's tampon Tim. Again, everything and anything these absolute ass clowns say they self own, and no realization because tampons, well, they stop red waves. Also, Tim is a decent human being and was just giving them out to girls who might need them, as opposed to taping him to his fucking ear, like a totally well adjusted adult. They've also gone after his family, for example. Tim Walz and his wife had to go through extensive fertility treatment. He mentioned this at the Democratic National Convention and that very rousing, emotional speech he delivered there, which, of course, his son Gus, who is developmentally disabled, was exuberant, was, crying and essentially saying, like, it's my dad. That's my dad. He was obviously caught up in the moment. Because, again, he's a human being. And MAGA doesn't understand that because, well, they're pretend human beings, pod people, lizard people. A major problem with these Republican attacks on Tim Walz and why they're just falling so flat and so many of them are just pathetic reaching is that Americans just kind of like Tim Walz, whereas they're weirded out by weirdo JD Vance. A poll from the Associated Press, Center for Public Affairs Research, shows that Walz had a smoother launch as a running mate to Vice President Kamala Harris than Vance did to former President Trump. About 1/3 of U.S. adults, 36%, had a favorable view of Walz, who he already did, but who introduced himself to his party when he spoke at the Democratic National Convention. Whereas 1/4, 27%, had a positive opinion of Vance. Both are somehow well-liked within their own parties. I don't believe that about Vance, okay? But independents are slightly more likely to have a positive view of Walz. You think? And since like nothing is off bounds in maggot land because they have no actual workable policies or any redeemable qualities, so they just reach deep into that bag of bullshit. I feel like why don't I try the same? Why don't I play the MAGA playbook? All right. I mean, let's see. So Kim Guilfoyle, right? This was her when she was dating Governor Gavin Newsom. I guess this is like when she was human or whatever. I don't know. But apparently they used to go out, and that was her. This is Kim Guilfoyle, whatever, now that she's been involved with Don Trump Jr. So I submit my theory is that Kim Guilfoyle is actually this big mouth Billy Bass fish. Okay? Now, hear me out. I'm convinced that the fish is Kim and Kim is the fish, and they just go back and forth, you know? And I mean, you do have to admit, though, that bears a striking resemblance. Hey, MAGA, if you can do it, why can't I? Anyway, I am Michael Hain. This is Really American. If you like our content, hit that subscribe button and check me out on TikTok at Mike Hain Comedian. Talk to you later.